Hi, everyone. Dr. Glenna here, reminding you that therapy is a lifestyle. Welcome to the happy hour. Today is February 11th. It is the Wednesday before Valentine's Day, if that means anything to you. Usually, people that have happy love in their life, they usually appreciate Valentine's Day. But, if you've been wounded or maybe if you've lost someone, usually doesn't hold as much weight. But today, I do want to talk about healing through healthy relationships and healthy connections. Fun fact, the happy hour is a free weekly webinar. I do it every Wednesday at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. This is for informational purposes only. The happy hour is not to be used in lieu of any psychiatric treatment that's been recommended to you. It's not to be used instead of individual therapy or group therapy or taking any medication. As a matter of fact, if you are experiencing any mental health symptoms, please contact a licensed clinician, a psychiatrist, or your general care practitioner. But essentially, talk to a helping professional if you feel like you're experiencing any mental health symptoms. The happy hour is for educational purposes. It is supposed to supplement information. So you take this back to your therapist and say, hey, I learned this. How can we integrate this into my treatment? I am licensed in the state of California and I'm currently accepting clients. If you are interested, I would love to see you. You can visit my website at www.drglenna.net, drglenna.net, and I would love to see you. We are going to jump right in as soon as I figure out why my Zoom is condensed. There we go. So I can share my slides here. All right, there we go. Welcome to the happy hour. And if you're watching the replay, welcome to the replay. All right, healing through healthy connection. Today is Wednesday, February 11th. My name is Dr. Glenna, and I like wearing dresses because you only have to pick out one thing instead of like matchy-matchy. I always do that. I always give a fun fact. We are wounded in relationships, but we are also healed in relationships. Think more often than not, we think about the times where relationships hurt us, and that's normal and that's natural. The brain holds on to scary things because it's trying to make sure that you don't encounter scary things again. But if we only focus on that, we miss out on opportunities to be healed in healthy relationships and through healthy connections with other people. Why relationships matter in healing. Humans are biologically wired for connection. Our nervous systems regulate through safety cues that often come from other people. All humans are wired for connection. Your desire to be around other people does not make you weak. It does not make you scary. That is normal. That is natural. That is literally how we survive. When babies are born, they have the ability to flail their arms and to cry. And that is how they signal to their primary caretakers that they need something. They need to be tended to by another person. We all need connection from other people. That goes beyond being an infant, that goes beyond being a teenager that likes to be around their friends. All humans are wired for healthy emotional connection. That is how we get through. That is normal and that is natural. All humans have an attachment system. This is your biological system that motivates us to seek closeness for caregivers or safe figures when distressed. It develops early in life and it shapes how we relate in adulthood. Now, again, your attachment system, I'm going to do a happy hour specifically on attachment styles because I feel like I've touched on it and I should probably go a little deeper on it. But your attachment system, again, it's something that everybody has. Going back to the baby example, when the baby cries, if the primary caregiver immediately attends to their needs, soothes their emotions, changes their diapers, feeds them, if the primary caregiver tends to the needs of this baby that cannot tend to their own needs, the message that you send is that I am here for you. You are loved. The world is a safe place. Big people are safe people. It's safe to attach to other people. If, as a baby, you cried and your caregiver dragged their feet, refused, they yelled at you. If you cry when you wanted to just be close to your primary caregiver and they left you in your crib for extended periods of time, the message that gets sent to that baby is that we're not going to tend to your needs. You will be in distress and there will be nothing to solve it or to resolve it. And these are just examples. Again, I'll go more deeper into attachment style in another happy hour. But the goal here is to understand that all humans have an attachment system that is normal, that is healthy, and there are certain actions that contribute to a healthy attachment system versus certain actions that will contribute to an unhealthy attachment system. When your needs are tended to by the person that is responsible for you in some way, shape, or form, it contributes to a healthy attachment system. So, again, we're answering the question of why do relationships matter? Because all humans have an attachment system and we all need healthy connection with other people in order to inform our attachment system that we are safe and to in turn develop a healthy attachment system. Relational trauma is trauma that occurs within attachment relationships, including neglect, inconsistency, emotional unpredictability, or abandonment. What is relational trauma? Relational trauma is something that directly disrupts the attachment system. If you are abandoned by your primary caretaker, abandonment can take the form of a parent going to get milk and never coming home, but abandonment can also take form of a parent being incarcerated for a period of time, a long period of time. A parent that is physically home, but they work so many hours during the day that it's almost like they're not in tune. They're not there for the child. A parent that's in the military and maybe they're deployed for a period of time. So abandonment, it can be intentional abandonment, but it can also be unintentional abandonment. Neglect, emotional consistency. Emotional neglect is ignoring how a person feels, ignoring that their feelings are hurt, that their needs are not being met. And it's painful and especially painful over a period of time. One incident of missing your 5-year-old's feelings being hurt is not going to cause relational trauma, but consistently ignoring and dismissing their feelings and their little experiences will absolutely cause relational trauma and it will disrupt the attachment system. And corrective relational experiences. This is what we're aiming for. It's a new experience in a relationship that contradicts a painful experience, right? For example, being heard instead of being dismissed. Healing requires new relational experiences that disrupt old beliefs. So, this is what we're looking at in a nutshell. All humans are wired for connection. All humans have an attachment system. If you experience something that is hurtful, you need corrective relational experiences to help address that. The value of co-regulation. Co-regulation is one of my favorite things when it comes to psychology and all the things. I just love the idea that we can co-regulate with one another. Co-regulation is the process by which one nervous system helps calm and stabilize another. It's through tone, through presence, through facial expression, and attunement. Co-regulation is the idea that one person can be heightened and dysregulated and upset, and another person can be completely calm and they can give them a hug. They can talk to them in a soft voice. They can have a calm facial expression, all of these things, or they can just be physically present and it helps the person that is disrupted to calm down. I just love that concept. We do it, healthy people do it when it comes to like children, right? So a kid falls and you're like, did you get hurt? They're like, no, but they're still crying. And you give them a hug. That hug is a form of co-regulation. When you've had a long day at work and you really just want to get home to your partner because the whole day was hectic and you're running around, and then when I get to my partner's going to soothe me, they're going to hold me, I'm going to hold them, I'm going to soothe them. It's a form of co-regulation. It's very easy and very simple to do. It's free to come by. That's why I love it so much. Deep breathing and co-regulation are two of my favorites. You don't have to make any special plans. You don't have to schedule a trip. You don't need a flight. You don't need a hotel room. You don't need anything. You just need another person that is calmer than you, that is willing to co-regulate with you. This also looks like calling your best friend, calling your emotional support person. Oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened to me today. And they're like, girl, what happened? Right? That is a form of co-regulating. And it's super valuable in terms of replacing old memories and old experiences. Polyvagal theory, developed by Stephen Porges, it explains how the autonomic nervous system responds to cues of safety and threat. Essentially, polyvagal is there is a heightened state and a lowered hypo state. Hyper is heightened, up, we are elevated. Hypo is we are lower. And then we have kind of the sweet spot, a bit of a window of tolerance, right? That's what polyvagal basically explains. And it explains how a person reacts, responds, how you can't think as clearly when you are in a heightened, hyper activated state, also when you're in a hypo activated state. Co-regulation helps you to stay within that sweet spot, which is your window of tolerance, right? That's what we're aiming for. Most of the time. We don't expect you to stay calm all of the time, but most of the time, that's the goal and that's what we're aiming for. Ventral vagal state. This is the nervous system state that is associated with safety, connection, and social engagement. So your nervous system goes all throughout your system and it sends messages from your brain through hormones all throughout your body. Okay. Your ventral vagal state, this is the part that specifically sends messages related to your safety, to your connection, to your social engagement. I always say, like with the amygdala, I don't want to go too far into that, but we want to keep this part of you happy and engaged. And the way that we do that is by having co-regulation activity that helps to send the message that I can be elevated, but when I am co-regulating with another person, it is okay for me to come back down. I can come back down. Remember, your sympathetic nervous system brings you up, parasympathetic nervous system brings you back down. This is the messages that come specifically through these activities, through safe social engagement. Oh my goodness, I'm at arms and I'm nervous and I don't know what to do. But safe social engagement is sending the message to this part of my nervous system that I am safe, that I can have healthy connections with other people. And your mirror neurons. These are brain cells that activate when we observe others' emotions or actions, allowing us to emotionally sync. Okay, so this is when a person has a safe tone of voice, they make eye contact and you realize it's safe. And the presence of these things, it sends signals of safety. You ever been out in public and you hear a loud noise, just a big boom, and you kind of look around and you make eye contact with another person really quickly? And you guys both resolve, I think we're okay. That very small, it could be with a complete stranger. That very small gesture is mirror neurons. This is what activates when you look at another person and you're trying to determine, am I in danger? And just that eye contact with another person is like, are we safe? We're safe. And then your whole body can resolve, we are not in danger. It sends messages to your whole body that we are safe. This can happen again. It can happen through eye contact. It can happen through hearing someone's tone of voice. You're elevated. Oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And your teacher says, you know what? It's really okay. Oh, you can retake that test next week. And because their tone of voice is calming, it sends the message to the rest of your nervous system that you are actually not in danger. This is not something that you need your fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response for. The role of solitude in healing. The role of solitude in healing. Healing alone builds internal stability. Healing in relationship builds relational safety. Both are important. I am not saying that in order to heal, you need to form codependent relationships with everybody around you. Okay, that's not what we're saying. Healing alone builds internal stability. Healing in relationship builds relational safety. Healthy solitude, because there is a healthy solitude. This is your intentional time that is used alone. This is for reflection, integration, and emotional processing. For example, I'll use myself as an example. On Wednesdays, I do a lot of talking. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I love talking to people. I love teaching. I love it. But on Wednesdays, I do a lot of talking and it's a lot of giving of myself. And so when my day is done, I've instituted the quiet hour for myself and I intentionally carve out that time where there are no expectations on me. I'm not going to talk. I don't take phone calls. I just need a moment to just kind of process the day, take some time to myself. That is healthy solitude. Isolation is a different story. Isolation is withdrawal. It's often driven by fear, shame, avoidance of vulnerability. It's also driven by avoidance of tough conversations, avoidance of healthy confrontation. Isolation and solitude are not the same thing. Solitude is, hey kids, hey partner, hey best friend, hey mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, neighbor. I need a minute to myself, for myself, by myself. I need a minute to recharge. I need a waking moment of the day where I'm not responsible for another person or for other activities, just so that I can recharge and reflect. Hey, I went on a date and this was amazing, but instead of continuing to talk for the rest of the night, I need some time to just reflect on how did that go? What was that experience like? That's healthy solitude. Isolation is withdrawal. Isolation is pulling yourself out of a situation because you don't want to confront something, or you feel shame, or you feel scared of what's going to happen. And self regulation is the ability to manage emotional states independently. Again, I'm not encouraging codependence. You do need a level of self regulation. Yes, 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 yes. In your healing process, you do need to develop self regulation. The key is not to rely solely on co-regulation. You got to have both. We don't want so much self-regulation and so much independence that you are now isolating. uh Extreme independence is a form of it's a trauma response anyway. When you feel like, no, I can't trust anybody, I don't want to talk to anybody, extreme independence is a form of a trauma response. That's not what we're looking for. We are looking for interdependence, your ability to self-regulate, to institute healthy solitude when you need it, but also to co-regulate and ask for help when you need it. There's a thing called memory reconsolidation and new experiences. Old relational wounds heal when new relational experiences contradict them. Old relational wounds heal when new relational experiences contradict them. So, in your emotional memory networks, these are clusters of memories and beliefs and emotional states that are stored in the brain. Okay. So you have these little, like, I don't know, think of them as like, you know how, like, well, in California, you can't even get a plastic bag anymore. Don't get me started. But you know how, like, you would go and you would get a plastic bag and you put it inside of a plastic bag and you keep doing it. And then you have like a big bag of plastic bags. Those are emotional memory networks, okay? They remember all these different things that happens, and they remember the emotional states stored with certain memories. Memory reconsolidation is the process by which previously stored memories become malleable and they update when activated and paired with new information. This is, um, I don't like roller skating. I've been roller skating 5 times and oh my goodness, I don't like it. I always seem kind of shaky on the skates. My ankles don't really feel safe. I fell a couple of times, did get hurt, but it was pretty embarrassing. I don't like roller skating, right? And then you get a new pair of skates and you get the fancy skates with the fancy wheels and you tighten up the bearings and somebody professional shows you how to tie them so that your ankles feel more secure. Okay? Memory reconsolidation is the process where your old memories are now malleable. And it's like, well, maybe skating itself isn't so bad. Maybe it was the skates that I had on my feet. And all of a sudden, you can update the thought and the memory and the emotions associated with the activity with new information. Oh, the first time that I, asked a girl on a date, she shot me down and I was really embarrassed. Okay, ask 3 more girls. Well, I asked 3 more girls and they were open to it. And so now we can reshape that memory in your brain. A more extreme seems like a large word. It's a big word for Elmo. A more intense way of looking at memory reconsolidation is EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's a therapeutic modality that helps process traumatic memories and integrate them adaptively. I always explain EMDR very crudely. You have 2 buckets in your brain, or my first example, 2 plastic bags in your brain. One is for relatively safe memories. I went to CVS, I bought some lotion, no big deal. You remember that it happened, but it's relatively neutral. It's not scary, it's not, fun, it just is. And then you have another bucket where they're very scary memories, they're very traumatic, they're things that they stick with you, hard to let it go. And your brain is intentionally keeping those things at the forefront because it's trying to keep you safe. What EMDR does, it is a therapeutic modality, meaning it is a technique that a licensed clinician has to do. Okay, can't do EMDR at the house on your home, girl. It is a process that helps you reorganize your scary memories into your not so scary memory bucket. Okay, so it is memory reconsolidation. It's just done in a therapist's office. It's relatively fast. It's actually really fast. And you'll see results by the end of your session. And it takes very traumatic memories, things that have been very deeply ingrained into your nervous system, into your memory bank, and re organizes them. And so you won't forget the memory. It's not the Men in Black thing that we're not trying to make you forget things, but it will help it so that the negative memory is not so impactful. Okay, remember, old relational wounds heal when new relational experiences contradict them. So if you can undo the impact of that memory and then also add on some more positive experiences, the old relational wounds will be able to heal. How healing happens through connection. Again, I mentioned it before, corrective emotional experiences. This is what we're looking for. Corrective emotional experiences. This is a relational interaction that challenges. Come on, Glenna. Corrective emotional experiences. A relational interaction that challenges a previously learned expectation. As in, you're expecting rejection, but you receive empathy. You ask somebody out on a date, they shot you down. That hurts. So now you think, anytime I ask somebody on a date, they're going to shoot me down, right? Corrective emotional experiences means you try it again. You cast your net one more time. You try it one more time. But this time, when you asked a different person out on a date, you got a different response, right? You got a warm response, or maybe they still weren't interested, but they were kind in the way that they went about it. You need more corrective emotional experiences to help your brain and your nervous system understand that that thing that happened was that thing that happened. And it does not have to dictate everything that happens through the future. Co-regulation, again, one of my favorites. This is your nervous system stabilization through another person's calm presence. So how do we do that? Through connection? Again, similar to a corrective emotional experience, giving you another example from an interaction with the person that, hey, it doesn't have to be the way that you thought it was going to be. Co-regulation says, yes, you are upset. Yes, you are hyper aroused or hypo. You are at a lower state, but another person's calm, safe presence, their voice, their touch, their tone, their suggestions, their quiet presence. They're riding in the car with you on the way to do that scary thing. They're sitting on the phone with you while you're venting or while you're crying. Co-regulation helps to stabilize the nervous system. You don't have to do everything alone. Attachment repair. This is the process of forming secure bonds later in life that shift that insecure attachment into a more secure attachment. Attachment repair, you can work on things at home, but I highly recommend that you talk to a licensed clinician when you're talking about your attachment system because there's so many yesterdays that contributed to why your attachment system is what it is today. But attachment repair will help you, and it helps through forming healthy relationships. You start to see securely attached people, and either you can model them and learn how you can be a securely attached person, or you learn through their very stable and very being emotionally available and emotionally intelligent, how that can rub off on you and what your experience of a person that is even keeled in that way. And that is one of the ways that you can help to repair your own system. Again, memory consolidation, updating old emotional beliefs when new experiences contradict them. How do we get new experiences? Through connecting with other people. We connect with other safe people. Go back and watch the happy hour on how to find safe people. But we get memory reconsolidation when we have new experiences with safe people. And of course, internalization of secure attachment. This is over time, your external safety that you experience, it becomes internal. And you begin to self-regulate because you have experienced being regulated. So it goes from when you are around people that are safe and secure, after a while, you don't even get as agitated as quickly. You don't get as scared as fast. You don't get as worried about things as fast because your understanding of the world is people are safe in general. And if something happens, I have the tools within myself, and I also have safe people around me that I can connect with that will help me to feel secure again. Practical application. Um, I am breezing right through this. Practical application. I want you to identify safe people. Again, I did a whole happy hour on how to identify safe people. It's called Picking Apples, identifying safe people, essentially. Because safe people are the ones that are going to give you these corrective experiences, right? Safe people are the ones that are going to, they're going to be gracious towards you if you make a mistake. They're going to be generous towards you. They're going to be generous with their resources, with their information, with themselves, with their families. So you want to identify safe people. And you do this based on a person's action, based on evidence. We do not identify safe people when we don't have any evidence. We do not identify safe people solely off vibes alone. Vibes give us an indication that this person might be safe, but we don't trust them with our whole lives and with our whole everything until we have evidence that this person can handle this, right? How do we learn if we can, how do we know if we can trust a person? You have to trust them, but you trust them with something small, right? If you have children, you don't give your child to this person and say, watch my baby for a week after you just met them. No, the first interaction is you with your child and this person around. And you gauge whether or not they are a safe person based on their actions. And then you stretch out a little more. Then maybe you leave the room for a little bit and you see, how does this person interact with my child in the room? The only way to know if you can trust somebody is to trust them, but we do it incrementally. So when you are identifying safe people, remember you are doing it based on their actions. We need evidence. We need something to look back. If someone said, why would you trust them? I need a list. Like, well, yeah, they did this, and this. And based on those actions, based on their consistent behavior, I believe that I could trust them. Another thing about identifying safe people as you try to build healthy connections, how you feel is enough. How you feel is enough. If you are around somebody and you're trying to build some new memories so that you can start to replace some of the old ideas that you have about people and relationships and the world around you, if you encounter somebody that makes you feel weird, that makes you feel like you're too much, why are you so upset? This isn't a big deal. And it makes you feel some type of way. We know what that means. Use a list of feelings words to better identify how you feel. You can literally Google list of feelings words and it'll give you a very comprehensive list. There's a bunch of them floating around there. Look and see, this makes me feel nervous. This makes me feel invalidated. I feel ignored. I feel something other than warm and safe and secure. That's not a safe person. So when we're talking about how to heal, you're not going to heal around somebody that is not a safe person. And if you don't feel safe, how you feel is enough. Now, there's a caveat. There's a caveat. When this is new to you, a lot of this won't feel safe. When trying to heal and trying to connect with people is new and it's unusual, you've never seen it before, a lot of it will not feel safe. Okay. So there's a difference between your instinct and your anxiety. Your anxiety says, what if? Your instinct is just kind of a quiet knowing. Anxiety is, what if they do, what if they do that? Your instinct is a quiet knowing, like something is off about that person. I shared something, I shared some good news and they didn't celebrate with me. They kind of shrugged their shoulders, like that's instinct. Okay. But so pay attention to how you feel because the only way that you're going to be able to heal and connect with other people is if you make sure that you're doing this with safe people. Also, you got to be vulnerable. I know the V word. I'm sorry, but you have to be vulnerable. Let someone love on you. Point blank. There are people that care about you. There are people, they want to know how you're doing, how you're feeling. They care. They're going to send a text to check up on you. They comment on your things on social media. They say, hey, let me know when your kid has something. I want to be able to come and support. And they mean it. They mean it earnestly. Be vulnerable. Open up and say, I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. I need help. I'm sad. This happened 5 years ago and it still hurts me. Be vulnerable. And then in order, the response to you being vulnerable is now you have to let someone come in and love on you. Let someone love on your little mean self. Like Valentine's Day is coming. Be nice. Address the resistance. Be vulnerable and address the resistance. Now, I just said that sometimes your anxiety will kick in when you're trying to open up and build healthy connections. This is your nervous system saying, remember the last time you tried to be friends with a group of girls and how dirty they did you? Don't do that again. Right? That is your nervous system trying to protect you from something that you've experienced that was disturbing or that was hurtful. right? So that's normal and it happens, but we got to address the resistance. We're not going to learn to replace old memories with new positive ones if we always use that as a reason to keep some distance and to not try again. So if you're like, I really want to be a part of a girl gang, but I'm nervous, and these girls have invited me to their wine and cheese night. And then whatever comes up for you, address it. Talk it out, talk to a therapist, write in your journal, pray about it, meditate, go for a walk, address whatever the resistance is that is potentially preventing you from reaching the healthy connections that you really want to reach. You know, you want to be in a girl gang. You know, you want to be in a book club, or, you want to be in a group where y'all all put your nails together and say, look how we all got our nails done, right? You want that. So great. But address the resistance that is preventing you from accessing that at the level that it is trying to give to you. And reflect when you have space. So be vulnerable, be open, be receptive, let someone love you, talk about what's happening for you. Go back and reflect. What was that like for me? What was that vulnerability like? I trusted this person. Did they honor it? How did it feel for me? What did it bring up for me? Go back to your corner and reflect. This is going back to now healthy solitude. If you don't address the resistance, you're isolating, right? Lean in, let someone love you, participate in the activity, but then go back and reflect on what that was like. How we form those memories in terms of memory reconsolidation is we go back and we reflect and we identify, well, that wasn't so bad. That was actually kind of nice. I liked it. Yeah, but it wasn't safe, but it was safe. And then that's when your brain starts to distinguish this event that happened before that actually really happened versus this positive event that is different from what you have known before. Okay, you have to slow down and reflect. Otherwise, you won't have time to actually form the memories that are now, happening for you. Practice solitude, not isolation. Yes, you are responsible for your feelings, but avoidance is not the cure. Solitude, healthy solitude, not isolation. So going away, I don't talk to nobody, I don't tell nobody what's going on with me. That's not the way. That you will not heal through healthy connections. You actually won't heal through that mentality, because even in that, you're only okay because you haven't encountered potential stressors. So you haven't actually learned how to manage anything. You've just learned to be okay when you don't have to manage anything. So you're not actually okay, you're just avoiding. So you are responsible for your feelings. Yes, you got to take ownership over your own junk. But avoiding things, that's not healing. And communicate assertively. When it's time for solitude, the solution is not to just disappear into the shadows. You can't just Homer Simpson into the bushes and people are like, where you at? We're trying to reach out. We're trying to connect with you. Communicate assertively. For example, I mentioned that I have quiet hour. To anybody that I talk to on a consistent basis or might try to reach out to me thinking, oh, her day is done, I communicate, hey, that's the quiet hour. I just need that time to kind of get in touch with myself, just to kind of download things for myself and to literally not speak after having spoken for, maybe 5 or 6 hours almost straight. So communicate assertively to people what your needs are. Then you're setting healthy boundaries, and then you're still getting the level of solitude that you need to kind of take care of yourself, self-soothe, go back and self-reflect, and then you can come back and re-engage in a way that is healthy. Now, there's self-validation and then there is external validation. Self-validation is acknowledging your own emotions, your perceptions, and experiences as legitimate. That is, I know I'm not crazy. That hurt my feelings. That wasn't right. I went on a first date. That felt like negging. That felt like a person was trying to take digs at me to see how much disrespect I would take. I don't like how it made me feel, and I don't have to go back. And, fine. I tried it and I'm not going to do it anymore. Self-validation. External validation is receiving empathy, mirroring, and affirmation from others. That's, hey, girl, hey, went on a date and he had all types of mean things to say, felt like negging. Homegirl is like, yes, that was negging. Glad you picked it up. Block him today. You don't have to do it again. Self validation is being able to tell yourself, you're not crazy, and I'm so sorry that that happened to you, self. External is your ability to receive it from other people when they can mirror your feelings and affirm your feelings. The difference, okay, is your ability to maintain your sense of self while being in connection with others. We don't want to lean too far to one side or the other. We don't want to be only self-validating to the point where we can't hear anybody else. We can't get any feedback. We won't even allow anyone to come in and kind of wrap their arms around us physically or conceptually. We won't even allow it to happen because we only rely on ourselves. That's not what we're looking for. You're not going to heal through only self-validation. And conversely, you will never heal if you only rely on external validation. Okay. It cannot be that the only way that you are okay is if you call somebody or somebody come to your house, or I have to always constantly be in contact with other people. That's the only way that I'm okay. We are looking for a healthy balance, the ability to tell the story like, no, I've already resolved that this is how it's going because of this is how it makes me feel. To be able to have that distinction while still being able to build healthy connections with other people and get external validation from other people. Okay, so the goal here is to build new and safe memories by connecting with safe people. And again, I did a whole happy hour called apple picking or picking better apples. And it's literally about how do you identify and select healthy people. Okay. So in terms of reflection, I want you to start to ask yourself, who helps my nervous system settle? Who do I get to be around where I just feel it just feels like warm water? It just feels really calm or really safe or like a cool breeze or something that kind of just floats by. Who is it? Your partner? Ideally, it should be your partner. That's a whole nother happy hour. It's your partner should always be one of the people that makes your nervous system settle. If your partner is somebody that disrupts your nervous system, we have a different conversation that we need to be having. But who helps your nervous system to settle? Where do I feel emotionally safe? Meaning, what physical environment do I feel emotionally safe in? In my home, in my car, in my office, at work, at my parents' house, at my partner's house, at my best friend's house, in the park, in the forest, at the beach. What physical locations do I feel emotionally safe in? We really want you, in order to have that um, in order to replace sad memories, scary memories, we need to identify physical spaces that can help to foster more positive memories for you. And where am I isolating out of fear? There's a difference between solitude and isolating. So being able to identify, you know what, when this comes up, I retreat because I'm scared. I'm scared of getting hurt. I'm scared of being vulnerable. I'm scared of being embarrassed. I'm scared of failing. So I'm isolating. All the friends are talking about going to this meeting so we can start a business together, and I just disappear. I'm isolating out of fear. Where are those areas? What people are you avoiding? What circumstances are you avoiding solely out of fear? And what would one step towards connection look like? I don't need you to do everything all at once. I don't need you to do a complete overhaul. But what is one step that you could make that would move you in the direction? It would just move the needle forward just a smidgen so that you could confirm safe connection. Okay, so just some things to reflect on. Again, my name is Dr. Glenna. This is the happy hour. It is February 11, 2026, and I am currently accepting new clients. Feel free to visit my website, and I would love to work with you. In the meantime, between time, I will see you all next Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And thank you very much for coming to the happy hour.